What if you had the power to predict the next economic crisis? What if you knew when the next Great Recession, Great Depression, or Black Swan event was going to happen? Would that change the way that you protect your savings and how you invest your money? Many analysts studying recurring patterns in the economy, society, and nature, they look at these patterns to foresee what could be coming. Guess what? Many of these theorists are now giving the same dire warning that between now and the end of the year 2020, a great convergence of negative patterns and low points of several cycles will hit all at once. This is one of the worst convergence of negative forces in centuries. It could potentially batter the United States socially and economically. For the unprepared, it could be a disaster. But for those who are prepared, it could be one of the biggest opportunities of our lifetimes. Based on originally the cycles that Australian economist Joseph Schumpeter talked about in the UK Independent, it was reported that in negative convergence, just 3 cycles came together in 2008, a rare concurrence leading to that disaster that cost the average American 40% of his or her net worth. The bad news now comes from a diversity of sources. Professor William Thompson from Indiana University has studied 1,000 years of how one cyclical pattern affects society. He sees us moving from a recession to a depression to economic winter that could last approximately till 2020. Scientists who study sunspots see rare low spot pattern activities. It could affect water, food, energy supplies, and hence our global economy. President Trump, his own analysts, said such recurring patterns are happening as we speak and put us at the riskiest point in the 80 to 100 year cycle that brought us the Revolutionary War in 1776, or the Civil War of 1861, or World War II in 1941. We may not understand how all these cycles happen and how long they'll last or when they'll occur, but there are 2 20-25 year cycles within it that say we need to be prepared militarily and economically right now. And that's according to what the White House is saying. The good news is that we can tip the odds more in our favor. Let's turn our crystal ball into a magnifying glass and look closely at one repeating pattern easily recognized when we focus on it. Over the past century, ever since the Federal Reserve was created in 1913, at least one major crisis has happened during each decade of the convergence of these patterns. Here's the crisis timeline: the crash of 1929, the recession of 1937 through 39, the Berlin airlift, the Great Recession of 58-59, the recession of 69-70, the 79 energy crisis, the 89 savings and loan crisis, the 99 dot-com bubble, the 2009 mortgage collapse. Those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it, said famous philosopher George Santayana, who understood cyclical reality. Fanaticism consists of redoubling your efforts when you have forgotten your aim. He also said that, describing perfectly how our world controlled by central bankers has failed economics of paper money and have rigged interest rates and created booms and bust cycles over the last 100 years. We've outlined here many events which prove our system can and will survive the foolishness of these central bankers and big government, but not without a cost and not without potential profits. Many were wiped out in the Great Depression. The recession of 37-38 was only remedied when we entered the Second World War. A succession of recessions caused countless workers to lose their jobs and in most cases all their savings. We've had crises: 79, 89, 99, and of course the most memorable 2009 meltdown, where banks took homes from people and taxpayers footed the bills. In each one of these events, fortunes were lost and fortunes were made. There could be a great time of prosperity here. A common thread connects all these events, past and future. Owners of gold who had a portion of their money in hard currency and not paper promises not only survived these periods, but also benefited by maintaining purchasing power and liquidity during times of economic uncertainty. The 20th century companies no longer exist that once did. Savings and loans are all but disappeared. Great companies like Lehman Brothers, founded during the Civil War, are gone. Many dot-com startups evaporated in the ether of unbridled optimism. Average Americans, again, lost fortunes because they did not recognize the repeating patterns of approaching storms. Through these crises, millions of people found that their diversification in the ultimate form of wealth and safety, gold, provided protection, safety, buying power, liquidity, no matter what world event transpired. As universal hard money for thousands of years, gold has held its value, while economies based on politician and bankers' promises rose and fell. Look, we cannot predict the future, but we can assure you that central bankers are fanatics bent on controlling the world economy. As such, we can predict with certainty that another major event will occur in the near future. Many say we are but one headline away from another crisis. Will you be prepared to act decisively? Do you see the signs of the time? Are you ready to take advantage? Please take time to consider the crazy world in which we live, and then don't wait to buy gold. Just buy it. Take physical possession or place it in your qualified retirement plan. Then sit back and take the advice of Santayana again. There is no cure for birth or death save to enjoy the interval. So I close with this. Look, I don't like to talk about crises. Right now we're living in a wonderful time. Jobs are coming back, regulations are falling, we're starting to see the Dow Jones hitting all-time records. But in the midst of all that, one single headline could trigger a crisis. This time, however, there's a golden opportunity, excuse the pun, but it's called the classic double play. It's the first time I've seen it in the last 37 years, and it's right before us, and we must seize this opportunity. Right now, early American $20 gold pieces, these were gold coins that were minted prior to 1933, have the lowest premium above the price of gold we have seen as long as I've been in this industry. That gives us the opportunity to buy gold at a price with an unprecedented low premium. Now you're going to say, Craig, what does a classic double play mean? It means literally when demand for these coins come back, because they have a limited supply, we stopped making them in 1933, that premium will start to increase once again. You could literally have gold stay right where it is today and profit from owning that gold coin because of the increase in the premium. Now, many people are saying gold could go to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 an ounce, and I wouldn't disagree with them given what's going on in the worldwide economy. But that doesn't even matter to me right now, because if you take time to buy a product that will protect your assets, that will guarantee your privacy against government snoops in your finances, and also provide you the opportunity of a lifetime to profit in the form of this premium comeback, in the form of increased gold prices, who in the world would allow an opportunity like that to slip through their fingers? So please, take time to call one of our representatives. They will take the time and the patience to sit down and explain to you this opportunity that comes around once, in this case, once every 4 decades. An opportunity that you do not want to miss. Look, you have my word on it, that my people will be professional, courteous, polite. We don't believe in high pressure. We believe in educating people, because we know when you see this opportunity and the potential that it represents, you will not only decide to do it, you'll tell your friends and your neighbors. And what's best of all is through all this, we the people will be prepared to not only protect and defend our assets, but will also prosper during it and be able to keep our great nation a great nation. Thank you for tuning in.